Hey, welcome everyone to Mystics Outlook. We got Raymond Lyons here tonight. I'm Wilson Tarpe Jr. and the Washington Mystics. We've been talking about for quite a while where they stood in the postseason standings. Obviously, the job is far from done, but they gained some serious ground tonight in a close win over Atlanta. We told you guys heading into this week, they had three big games. The first on the road against the Sky, the second tonight against Atlanta, and then Sunday at home against Atlanta. The reason being, coming off Sunday's loss to the Lynx to start this week off, Washington was trailing both of these teams. With tonight's win, after the last two wins, as things currently stand, the Washington Mystics hold the eighth seed, the eighth and final playoff spot in this postseason. Again, keep in mind, they started this year 0-12. But about this game, Ray, what'd you take away from this one outside of it being extremely hard fought and gritty?
Um, that's honestly the biggest takeaway for me. Two teams pretty much fighting for their playoff lives. Atlanta, they came out, they punched first. They were extremely physical in the first quarter. Kind of rattled the Mystics a little bit. Had seven turnovers in the first quarter alone, and that they got off to a rough start. They collected themselves and responded. And that's comes from fighting your way back from the situation they started the season in. I mean, this team has fought through a lot of adversity, and right now they sit in the eighth and final playoff spot, and they're in the driver's seat. As long as they continue to handle business, then they'll see themselves into the postseason. But tonight, man, it was just a tough, gritty win, and you need wins like that, um, to have success. And it was an ugly game. They had some mistakes, but I was impressed with the way they were able to pull it out. Um, some of their vets showed up. Um, their bench kind of got it going. They made stops at the right times. They scored at the right times. They were able to make Atlanta consistently play from behind outside of the first quarter. You know, um, yeah, the dream kind of jumped on them, but since then, Washington kind of took control of the game in second, and Atlanta was the one that had to continuously fight back to try to stay alive. So, man, everything's not going to be perfect all the time. They came off a virtually flawless game against Chicago, where everything's clicking, everything's going the way you want. You come out tonight and you can't hold on to the ball, you can't get a defensive rebound, and at certain points your shots not falling. It's just a physical football game for the most part. But they were able to remain composed and make the plays they needed to get a win. And yeah, man, that's just tough. You lose tonight and your back's kind of against the wall, but now you got a little cushion and the pressure's on the other teams. So yeah, it was. I have no complaints, man. Of course, it's going to be a lot of film study, but at least you're doing it coming off a win instead of the other way around.
Yeah, and you talk about diversity they've been fighting through. It's still there. It's still Shakira Austin still not fully back. They lost to Leah Edwards tonight. Um, Throughout the course of this game with the ankle injury. Sure we'll find out. Go on. Hopefully that it's not too serious or whatnot. The severity of it. But like you said, man, you also brought up it was kind of like the intensity, the physicality of football. Um, and it took a bit, like you said, but they responded to it well. Um, and their bench again, I thought it was big at the end of that first quarter when they're kind of on the ropes a little bit, and the bench made a little run, just little stability there. Like, hey, we're okay. We're only down six. We're still standing. Versus taking an 8 count right there. Didn't touch the floor. Just spent some time on the ropes. Um, Thought Brittany Sykes did a great job just getting downhill in this one. But to stick with the football analogy, yeah, Ariel Atkins on an island late in this game, that whole second half, dude, just be left alone on Ryan Howard. Like your task is to deny Ryan Howard the ball, to essentially be in her pocket for the remainder of the game. And Ryan made a tough move late in the game down the stretch, but that was still a tough shot. I think she had 9 of the 11 in the first half. That's a hell of a job in a game that you need. And I know, these days we don't not we per se, but as a whole, we don't always celebrate the work on the defensive end. This doesn't happen without that. It just doesn't. But again, like you said, just but their mental toughness this season's been remarkable. They stay in all of this, like it's been impressive all year long. Like you said, how easy would it have been coming off that the high? You almost won by 30 plus the other night. Coming here, everything's bad first quarter in this. Um, Even like the free throw disparity for much of the game, like some of that their own doing and whatnot. Obviously, you're on a roll, but to stick with it, even late, they were still together. So credit them for that. I guess obviously we're gonna get to player of the game. Was there anything else you wanted to share with this one before we get to it?
Um, no, man, it's just like you pointed out the mental toughness because and Brittany Thompson talked about it at halftime. They were on the road in a hostile environment, and and it showed. But yeah, just the fact they had the fortitude to fight through that is you can't speak on that enough.
Yeah, my little 2 cents before we get to play the game. I just two young players I thought played big in this game, one for each team. Shout out to Nas Hillman finding her role post
Mhm.
Olympic break for the Dream. Obviously know how productive she was in college, but finding a way to W is easier said than done. And she was huge tonight, 10 points, 11 rebounds. Much of the reason you're talking about the work Atlanta did on the glass, she played a big part in that. And then Kone for the Mystics. Leah goes down. You're missing Shakira. That 9 and 8 was huge on a night like tonight. Needed every they damn sure needed every rebound that they did get in this one, especially with how Atlanta was crashing the glass. But player of the game for you, Ray.
Um, yeah, Brittany Sykes. It got to a point where she was just determined to put the ball in the basket, and they desperately needed it. We brought up the slow start. Yeah, that second quarter, she really came alive and was able to allow the Mystics to kind of get some breathing room, where they were pretty much able to dictate the game from that point on.
Yeah, wholeheartedly agree. For everything you know, like literally only negative thing she did tonight was turn the ball over. I'm sure, obviously, much more than she would have liked. But again, on a night where clearly it looks like we saw what Ariel's primary focus was tonight, uh, she held up and she kept putting pressure on the Dream. 3 of 3 from deep, 3 or 4 from the line. Again, like the only thing was the turnovers. Got on the glass a little bit, 2 steals and a block. No arguments there. Um, X Factor, who'd you have tonight?
You spoke on her earlier, Senka Kone. Just her activity on the interior on both ends, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, the Dream they went to work on the offensive glass. I think they doubled the Mystics up, 17-8 in offensive rebounds. But Kone was one of the ones in there fighting. And even when they got those rebounds on a second chance attempt, she's there being disruptive. And then offensively, just her aggression. She came up with some timely baskets as well. But yeah, just her overall production was sorely needed, especially with them being short-handed up front.
Yeah, I took a page out your book, and I had a co X Factor. I went Atkins and Kodak for much of the reasons that we shared. I don't think they get out of Atlanta with that win, with the W, without their two contributions, the contributions they got from the two of those women at all. Um, Washington has another one. This is just it's a home and home with the Dream, so they were on the road tonight. Get back. They host the Dream on Sunday. They have the opportunity on Sunday to put a little distance between them and the two teams behind that are technically behind them at the moment. Like you said earlier, they just gave themselves a little bit of a cushion, temporary. It's a little bit of cushion, but again, just to for at 0-12, were you thinking that they'd even No, I know it doesn't seem like much, but again, it's an 0-12 team. To put yourself in a situation where, like, think about it, they capitalized on a huge opportunity tonight. One, you
Hmm.
beat the Sky, which was on your favor. Two, you got some help, courtesy of your neighbors, the Lynx, who beat you on Sunday. They got the Sky out of there for you tonight. Most importantly, on the same night the Sky lose, you handled your business and got a W. Um, but again, we'll see what things look like on Sunday. We'll talk to you guys after that game. But for Washington, for now, credit to them, and they got to enjoy, for the moment, they're in eighth place. Again, it's on them to, like you said, they got a chance to create a true bit of separation and cushion down the stretch here, which will be great. And obviously, don't know the severity of Aaliyah Edwards' injury. Sure, her speedy recovery, and same to Shakira Austin. Hopefully, we see her back sooner than later. I'm sure her team misses her sorely right now with what they're all going through. But again, a big win. I got nothing after this one, man. Just I love a win. We've been saying that a lot the past couple of weeks. So, which again, no complaints because those first 12 games, we are saying a lot of the same things there and that. So I'll take this side of it. But again, we'll see you guys Sunday evening.